Time and opportunity is a big thing. So that's
Right.
why showing up matters. There's a difference between like showboating and just making sure that your presence is felt. That's the first step. So then once you show up, be impeccable. This is not a moment for you to shrink. This is a moment for you to meet the moment. You need to meet the moment. And so what I'm looking for more than anything is audacity.
You gotta win the day. You gotta win the day.
What is the best thing you've heard so far within the last 2 weeks? It could be like a quote, some motivation. What's the best thing?
I follow this therapist, and I forget her name, on Instagram, but her niche is capacity over victimhood. Capacity over victimhood. So with her clients, her aim is to build up her clients' capacity, because in her opinion, we've become a very fragile society.
Right.
You know, and we use like these keywords like toxic. This person is toxic, and every environment has to be like tailored to our needs, but that's not real.
Yeah.
Right. So like you can tailor your home and you can tailor your personal environment to your own liking, but when
Right.
you get out in the world is just what it is.
Yeah.
And so her whole thing is she wants us to build up our capacity so that no matter what situation we're in, right? If we're around someone who is toxic,
Right.
if we're around someone who isn't supportive, that we still have a foundational reference, but we can still be solid in any environment. So that's really been something that I've been really sitting with. Like, the aim isn't to shape every environment
Right.
in a way that's comfortable for me, because that's not real.
Right.
And that's why I think we have so many people with like mental health issues
Facts.
and emotional issues. And we don't talk about this a lot, but like personality disorder issues,
Right.
like
Imposter syndrome.
a lot of people like have a
Heavy
lot
on it.
of personality disorders.
Right.
And it's because I think what has contributed to that is this fragility that we have.
Right. Do you think the pandemic caused some of that?
I think the pandemic
Or put it in a
exasperated
spotlight?
it.
Okay.
It exasperated it. Yeah, it exasperated. But I felt like we were going down that slippery slope of like self-absorbance, and so it's one thing like our parents' generation,
Yeah.
they paid no attention to their feelings, right? And then our generation, we went all in with our feelings. And then I think Gen Zs, and I forget what you call the ones after Gen Zs, the Generation X?
Yeah.
I think it's Generation
I
X.
think Gen X.
Yeah. They are in a place where they're finding balance. When they're realizing me being neurotic isn't serving me either.
Right. No purpose
Right.
at all, honestly.
Yeah, there's no. So me ignoring my feelings doesn't serve me, right? But me being neurotic and defining my whole life
Right.
by an identity or a feeling,
Right.
I got OCD. Like everybody got something.
Yeah.
I'm OCD. I'm neurotic. I'm, I
All
have
the things.
anxiety. I have
Right.
we all have these catchphrases. Like we didn't
Right.
even use that language
Right.
20 years ago. We didn't use that language to describe ourselves.
And now here we are.
And so now we're all like
Something wrong with
clinical
everybody.
patients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point. So increase your capacity.
Your capacity.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to sit with that too.
I want to be able to find my footing in whatever room I'm in.
As you should. Why not?
Whatever the environment is, whether I got haters in the room or whether I have supporters in the room, I'm walking in the room whole,
Right.
and I know who I am, regardless of what's going on in my environment. That's power.
Right. That's
That's
power.
real power.
And self-awareness too, to be able to pivot or shift in any moment when you're in that room.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm about to sit with that. I like
Capacity.
that. Capacity.
Capacity.
So first things first, we have to introduce ourselves. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And you have something very big coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. My name is Jermaine Nakia Lee. I am a Charlotte-based professional songwriter, playwright, stage director, producer, teaching artist, and I like to think I'm a change agent as well. And we have a musical coming up.
Yes, so excited.
Yes, I am producing and directing the live concert version of the musical A Walk in My Shoes.
A Walk in My Shoes.
Wait, don't be no. When God says wait, don't be no.
If somebody took a walk in your shoes right now, what are they going to feel?
Right now, it's been a manic Monday.
Okay.
So right now they're going to feel a little anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a lot going on. So
Okay.
you and I have a rehearsal at 7:00, and I probably have about 8 appointments in between
Oh,
there.
Lord.
Yeah, I don't know why I do that to myself. So
Hey.
they would be feeling a little anxiety right now.
But you got it.
And a little angst. But I do feel like I got it.
You got
Yeah.
it. And you look good. So, you know, when
do.
you look good, you do good, you
Well, that's
feel
what
good, all the
matters.
above.
That matters. Thank you for that. Thank you.
So talk to me, what is A Walk in My Shoes about? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So about, it's been about a decade ago.
Okay.
I had the honor of being the program manager for a federally funded Center for At-Risk Youth and Young Adults here in Charlotte.
Okay.
Called the Powerhouse.
Okay.
The primary premise of the program was around safer sex.
Okay.
This was a place where you could come and you can get rapid HIV, STD, which is sexually transmitted infections,
Okay.
or rapid STD, sexually transmitted disease tests.
Okay.
So you could get an HIV test, 15 minutes, you get your results.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hepatitis tests, 15 minutes. Gonorrhea, syphilis, the whole nine.
Right.
And we also did sex education, but we did it in a way that was palatable to that generation.
Right.
So we did it through music, and we did it through theater and through dance and through spoken word.
Right.
And which is how A Walk in My Shoes originally was born.
Okay.
Because I wrote a grant. There's a federal organization called SAMHSA.
Okay.
These are the people when you see like public service announcements online,
Okay.
like for smoking or
Yeah.
tobacco, they're the ones who distribute that.
Okay.
So around mid-2000s, there was a report that came out that there was a higher rate of HIV and STD infections on HBCUs, historically black colleges. So SAMHSA, that federal department, made funding available to HBCUs.
Okay.
So Johnson C. Smith, which is one of Charlotte's African-American historically black colleges, got that funding.
Okay.
Contacted me and said, hey, can we commission you to write a play
Okay.
that is centered around the lives of young people and some of the intersections that sometimes lead to risky sexual behavior,
Right.
and subsequently HIV or STD or STI infection.
Right.
And that's how A Walk in My Shoes was
Wow.
born. Yeah.
I love that.
So we did what's called a workshop. When you first initiate a play, it's called a workshop. So we workshopped the play
Okay.
about 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. And then now flash forward, we are not only going to be on stage kind of giving you insight on all the characters and the different people that are affected by what you just explained, but then
Yeah.
also how they deal with it with the people that are around them.
Absolutely.
And that's so amazing that you were able to bring that to life, but also bring people like myself and others together to really bring that out to the audience.
Absolutely, yeah. And I appreciate singer actors like yourself. This work is a very challenging work. The play deals with a lot of serious subject matter.
Right.
Addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sexual assault, religious oppression, a lot of isms in the show.
Yeah.
And as an actor, I'm curious, like, how does it feel? I know you're a part of the ensemble. Like, how does it feel to be able to be a part of that work?
Great question. I think it feels demanding, vulnerable,
I feel those demands, yeah.
and it feels like you have to embody that person to be able to really express who they are, what they're being able to, what they're going through amongst their friends, and then also just put it in a way that, we see you. Like someone in the audience is going to relate to that, or they're going to know someone who's going to relate to that. So I think the demanding part is you have to embody the role. So you have to demand that within yourself. Okay, we have to come to just a conclusion. How can we remove ourselves, whatever we walked into from that day or whatever is going on in our lives? Like, how can we really demand ourselves to be present? And then just embody that person so everyone can feel it. The audience, the other characters can feel it, so it can all be one.
Yeah, because I think the characters demand that.
Yeah.
The story demands for us to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very real.
Yeah. So this is a real story. So this is a show that is, I would say, 17 and older for
Yeah.
real adult language, real adult situations. But I think, and you may agree, I think everybody will see themselves.
Yeah.
And definitely you'll see somebody somebody you've experienced, in the show for sure, right?
No, I think I agree because it's happening now. It's real life. It's
real. Yeah.
Even if you've never experienced a sexually transmitted disease, or if you've never experienced alcoholism or just any of those tears, you can still feel the pain, the emotion, the loneliness, the abandonment that
stigma
comes with the entire story. So.
Absolutely. And we know if that's not our story, we've been adjacent to those stories.
Right.
We know somebody who's been there. We've had a scare before. You know what I mean? Like, these are real things that we don't talk about in our culture.
Right.
But it's happening in our culture, and it's specifically happening to Black and brown people.
Right.
So we need to talk about it.
Definitely.
Well, I want all of us to have one of these.
Okay.
So go get you a black binder.
Okay.
Put your stuff in your binder, and you'll always read from your binder. And then you got all that play space. You can move around, you can stand still.
Oh, great.
Whatever your heart feels, right? And again, the band will be like right here, and your first audience in a stadium seating. It's a black box theater, about 120 seats, right? But it's intimate. Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed within like the rehearsals and the practices, the community that it also forms. Like, while we're touching on these subjects that are, some people want to put it on the rug, but the community that is being brought at the end of the show. So you have these four best friends and other characters within the story who are basically like this, and they've been like this since they were younger, and they all have their own issues. They all have their own big personalities.
Sure.
And they each have a story that affects everybody at the end, but they are able to come together in a beautiful way and say, hey, we didn't want this to be the catapult to change, but
this
look,
is where we are.
Here we are.
And that's life, right? Yeah.
The community aspect of it, like, I love that part. Because it's like, we go through stuff. You go through stuff with your best friends now.
That's
your
right.
family.
That's right.
In the church, outside of the church, in community. But at the end of the day, your people are going to be your people.
Yeah, one of the things I really love about this experience is that the narrative, the show, is about community. But to your point, we get to create community as collaborators, as co-collaborators, right?
Yeah.
So our show has everything in our show, in our cast, in our cast of characters.
Right.
There's straight folk, there's gay folk, there's trans folk, right? People who have varying sexual orientations, and gender identities. But that's also represented in the actual cast.
Right.
There's straight folk, there's gay folk, there's non-binary folk, right? And that is community.
Yeah.
That's community, right? And I love that we're able to create that on stage, but actually too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to make it beautiful.
That's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it real.
For sure.
The time is right. I just got paid. I say I ain't a mess around. Baby, go downtown.
Yeah. So I'm glad that well, it's a duality. On one hand, we're still talking about AIDS, when that's really something at this point that should be eradicated.
Right.
We got the medicine, we got the treatment. So on one hand, we're still talking about AIDS, so that's not a good thing. But on the other hand, we're still talking about AIDS.
Right.
And that's a good thing.
Right.
Because it's still present in our community.
Making awareness.
We're still making people aware. Fewer people, a lot fewer people are living with HIV/AIDS, and a lot fewer people are contracting STDs and STIs, but people still are. And it's not just sex workers or just people who are, considered promiscuous or whatever.
Right.
It's people who just had a risky night,
Right.
or loved someone
Yeah.
and trusted someone.
Right.
And was vulnerable with that person
Right.
and didn't know.
Yeah.
And maybe that person didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't know their condition.
Right.
So there are a lot of varying things that can lead to that being someone's world.
Right.
And it's important that young people know about it. Right? Because it's the last thing they're thinking of. When you're
Right.
young, when you're in your teens,
You're
and
not.
young
You're just
adult,
having fun, making decisions
fun.
that have nothing to do with the long-term process
Yeah.
that you should be having in your mind. So,
You're invincible.
right.
You know what I mean? But you're not.
Yeah.
And a part of adulting is kind of realizing, yeah, I got responsibility.
Right. And anything can change.
Anything can change, and I got to be prepared.
Right.
I got to be prepared, yeah. So it's also a fun show, so it's heavy. There's some heavy stuff.
Yes.
But it's a fun show. Good music. There's R&B. There's hip-hop.
Gospel.
There's gospel.
Yes.
So we run the whole gamut of the African-American diaspora.
Yes.
You know how we do. So you're going to come to this show. If you're an auntie, you're going to feel right at home.
Right.
If you're a daddy, if you're a mama, you're going to feel right at home. If you're from the hood, you're going to feel right at home. If you're from the suburbs, you're going to feel right at home. There's a little
Right.
something for everybody.
Yes.
You're going to experience the culture
Right.
with this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Pulsing, threshing, throbbing, why it moves me, I don't know. Fingers snapping, feet are stomping, hips are steady humping. I need more.
If there was one thing that you wanted someone in the audience to take away after they see the show, what would that be?
Yeah, the final song, one of the lyrics in the final song is, "And now I see all the beauty, and now I see you were there for me, and now I see where I want to be. I can see your face in mine. I can see your dreams in mine." And so what I want people to get is our connectivity, that we are all connected. We are all more alike than we are different. We can't do this thing without one another. So I want community to be the overarching thing that audience members are left with. And I'm a
Right.
part of a community.
And they're going to feel it.
I think so.
Ooh, they're going to feel it. I felt it even with you just saying the lyrics. Like, oh,
I think so.
it's going to bring it all together.
I think so. And
Yeah.
I appreciate your help as narrator.
Yes.
You
I'm
are
so excited.
You are the glue that holds the story together.
Let me tell you. So I have a vocal coach, and she encouraged me to do this performance at the Mint Museum and Randolph. And I said, okay, like I'm super nervous. Like my my thing this year was I want to perform more. Like I've been in the studio and taking vocal lessons, but I want to put myself on stage because I want to get.
You got to get out in front of people.
I want to do that, and
Yeah.
so that's how we end up meeting at the Met.
I walked in and she was like, "Oh my God, I love your outfit."
I did.
She had me at "I love your outfit."
Because it was so sleek, so sharp.
Thank you.
Yes. And so here we are. So I'm just appreciative of you seeing me seeing you, and then allowing me this opportunity to be a part of not only the cast, but just making new friends and just seeing everybody else's talent. That inspires me.
Yes.
Everybody else's talent. Like everybody is
We
so
got a talented
talented
bunch.
in
Oh
their
my
own
God.
way.
And everybody is like
Yes.
levels, right?
It's levels.
Yeah,
Oh, it's levels.
levels.
So I definitely appreciate it, and I can't wait to bring my talents amongst everybody else's talents. But I wanted to talk about like how we met and how just showing up, you just never know what may happen. Because like on my end,
Say that.
even though like you remember the compliment, I showed up. Like that was one of those days where it's like, girl, show up. Like she gave you this challenge, show up, and then God's like, you said you want to do this. Let me bring somebody in and introduce
Let's
you
talk
to the
about
next.
that, because I know there are a lot of people who are watching who don't show up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's the first step.
That's the
Sometimes
first
that's
step.
it's the like
You
take
never
one.
know who's in the room.
You don't.
You got to show up.
Yeah.
You never know what opportunity will be there.
Right.
I meet artists all the time, and I see them perform somewhere, and I go, I have a show in mind for them.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah.
I'll go, oh, that's my such and such character. I'll know.
Yeah.
And I'll go to look them up online or I can't find them. Their stage name is different from whatever their name is online. Like whatever, I can't find them.
Okay. So let's talk about it. As a director, like what are you looking for specifically? Is that something like super professional? Is it just like a little bit that you can be able to reach out to them? Like what are you looking for? Especially someone like me, like I don't have something that I can give you that shows myself in a play like prior to our meeting. So what do you look for?
Well, I think time and opportunity is a big thing. So that's
Right.
why showing up matters. You know, time and opportunity is everything.
Right.
So that's why showing up matters. And I do feel like that's the first step. So then once you show up, be impeccable.
Yeah.
Like, and so there is a difference between like showboating and just making sure that your presence is felt,
Yeah.
right? And there's subtle ways to do that, and there's sometimes subtlety is not
Right.
the answer.
Right.
It just depends.
Yeah.
And you got to figure
Read
that
the
out
room.
in the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
There are sometimes when subtlety is not the answer.
Yeah.
And you got to be over. I was having a good conversation with my friend the other day, you know, where she was debating whether or not to go to a thing. And I said to her, this is not a moment for you to shrink. This is a moment for you to meet the moment. You need to meet the moment. And so what I'm looking for more than anything is audacity. That's usually what I'm looking for
Yeah.
in a creative.
Yeah.
Because even someone who has, and I don't know what term to use, but is at a beginning level in their talent, those are people I actually like to work with the most, who are hungry
Yeah.
and at a beginning level in their talent and don't feel like they have arrived
Yeah.
because they're moldable.
Right.
And generally, I can pull stuff out of them that they don't even know exist in them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why, and you probably noticed this as well, I have artists around me who've been working with me for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And they're endeared to me from the first experience where I pulled something out of them.
Yeah.
And so now every time I call, they're hungry for that experience again.
Right.
They want to know what else is there
Right.
that's been dormant inside of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you don't get to that place unless you're hungry. And the person can't see that in you unless you're in the room.
Right.
So you got to show up
And have the audacity.
and have the audacity. Have the audacity to get on the mic Have the audacity to say, the sign up is over. It's the room for one more person. Have the audacity. Have the audacity to go backstage. Have the audacity.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had the audacity. Listen, one thing about me is I'm going to have the audacity. That was actually the first segment for Ruby's Roundtable. It was called Girl Have the Audacity.
Was it?
It was. So that's funny that you say that.
That's
so this segment is If Not You, Who? Yes. Because after you have the audacity, then have the confidence to say, if not me, who?
If not, yes.
If not now, when?
Yes.
So I love that you spoke on that.
And to believe in your heart of hearts that you are worth. And sometimes we have to, I don't fake it till you make it. That's a phrase.
Yeah.
But I think fake it till you make it really just means even when you don't fully believe it yourself, but you know it's the truth.
Right.
You move
anyway.
in that truth.
Yeah.
Move in that truth.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, move in that truth. And the other piece that I want to give you that your first question was like, what nugget have you learned lately that's really been sitting with you? The other thing, and I shared this with you in the cast the other day, was moving as if things already are. Mm-hmm. Like if you didn't have a limitation, if money would, like how would you move if you had the money to do whatever it is you want to do?
Right.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Make plans. Like I make plans. The plans that I make sometimes.
Do they scare you?
With no budget.
With no.
I make plans.
You have to. You have to not only think it, you have to be it, you have to move in it.
It's on my calendar. I tell people things are before they are.
Yeah.
I make plans.
Yeah. You have to.
And then the universe meets me there. Because we think we're waiting. Like, I do believe there is a divine. And I do believe we get divine guidance. Mm-hmm. But we're co-creators with our life and our destiny.
Right.
We are co-creators. So I think sometimes we're always waiting on direction.
Right.
The universe is also waiting on direction. The universe wants to see what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's your life.
If you really want it.
What you want to do.
Yeah.
Even if it's the wrong direction.
Right.
Because I have definitely been given things that eventually were not best for me. I needed to go down that road to see that and learn that lesson.
Yeah.
And it was given to me for that purpose.
Right. So then you have the discernment, you have the wisdom to be able to pivot or shift if something similar comes about. So you know how to make the decision a little bit faster.
Yeah. What you want to do? What are your prayers in particular? What do you want to do? And then the universe will meet. The universe wants to God. The God of your understanding wants to know, wants to grant all the desires of your heart. Think about that. That the creator of all things is just sitting back like, okay.
Yeah.
You know I can do everything right.
Right.
What you want me to do?
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here for you. What you want me to do? And so I'm moving, and it's a constant because self-doubt and other isms create barriers.
Right.
And I have to keep moving myself to the center.
Right.
Moving myself to the center. So
creating
I have to
your own
keep reminding
frequency.
myself and getting in frequency.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I haven't arrived. It's something that I work on every day.
Yeah.
And I get all of the things that can create and perpetuate self-doubt.
Right.
They're never going to go away.
Yeah.
So you have to keep moving.
Yeah.
Moving to the center. And as you say, getting in frequency.
Whether you want to buy a home or sell one, you need the right person to help make that dream come true. Someone who knows the market, has the right relationships to support you, and keeps his finger on the pulse of the community. So what are you waiting for? Do what I did and contact Vaughn Hayes today, because you are the key to making it all happen, and that house is waiting for you to call it home.
For someone who is watching, or they are thinking like, I want to start acting, performing, I want to be on stage.
Yeah.
What are some do's and don'ts? Let's say they've already manifested, they had their moment. What are some do's and don'ts, rehearsal and on stage, that you as a director would point out?
So I think every director really appreciates performers, a cast, production crew who communicates.
Okay.
Communication is a big thing. You're part of my cast. You probably know I over communicate. Communication is a big thing. So communication if you can't make it to a rehearsal. Communication if you're going to be late. Communication is a huge thing. Why? Because we have to coordinate rehearsals.
Right.
And the larger a cast is, the more you have to maneuver around people's schedules, right? And varying scenes, because not every actor is in every scene.
Right.
So shows are choreographed, but so are rehearsals.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not just coming into rehearsals. When I do a rehearsal, when I host a rehearsal, I know exactly from hour to hour what I want us doing.
Right.
And when I have in mind for us to do a particular scene and that actor isn't there, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So communication, so that I know, okay, this actor's going to be an hour late. We'll do this scene. We'll
Right.
come back in. When they get there, we'll do scene 2. You know what I mean?
Right.
You must get fully immersed in your character and in the script.
Right.
And your rehearsal time can not only take place during rehearsal.
Right.
You should actually be spending more time with the script outside of rehearsal.
Right.
If you're not doing that, then you're doing something wrong.
So rehearsal, a lot of people think, and myself included, that that's where you can go over some of the big things, even some of the small things, or maybe like really practice it over and over. But now that I've been in a lot of the rehearsals so far, it is very obvious that you have to be excellent outside of rehearsal. So when you go to rehearsal, it's almost like a performance.
Rehearsal is an overview.
Right. I
It's
hope
an
I
over-
worded that right. That's what I'm
Sure.
like.
It's an overview.
Yeah.
Rehearsal is an overview. I'm just telling you what I want.
Yeah.
I'm giving you direction to go home and perfect it. You go home, perfect it, and then you bring it back.
Right.
And then at home is when you play with things.
Right.
And then you come back and, I tried this with my character.
Right.
I love when the actor says, when I was home, I was working. That lets me know they've been doing their homework. If I don't hear folks saying,
Yeah.
when I was home,
Yeah.
I was playing with this note or playing with this line, that lets me know you've been in your script.
Right.
That means you've done some characterization. And then you come to rehearsal and play and test it out.
Right. Yeah. Rehearsal is not for practicing it. No, you got to show
It's an
up
overview.
or learning it. Yeah.
It's not for learning it.
Yeah.
The work happens on your own time.
Yeah.
That's when you learn your lines, when you learn your script. It happens in your own time.
Right. In which that happens in any performance. Like if you're singing,
Anything.
but even in acting, it's like, no, same thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I think they think all the magic happens in rehearsal.
Yeah.
There is magic that happens there. There's some spontaneity and there are amazing things that happen in rehearsal. But generally magic happens at home
Yeah.
when you're studying.
And then you sprinkle it in rehearsal to see how it connects with everybody.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
That is the key.
Okay.
Yeah. People go to school to learn that jewel you just learned. Yeah. People pay money for that.
Right.
But that is it.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your biggest pet peeve other than the things that you just said? Is there like another one that sticks out as a director?
I mean, you don't want to be tardy for rehearsals, but tardy late of show, day of show. We have call times. Generally, a call time is about an hour before a show. A stage manager and a director really starts flipping out
Yeah.
when you are even a minute after that call time.
Right.
Because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially when there's not been any communication.
Right.
You know? And so, for instance, our show, every show is different. Some shows have what's called an understudy.
Right.
Right? So that means there's someone who, if I am absent, can take my place. Not every show has that budget. This particular show does not have that budget. Mm-hmm. So if you don't show up, you don't show up.
And that affects everybody.
It affects everybody. So I have actually been in a situation where an actor who actually had a health crisis. So legitimate reason not to show up.
Right.
But didn't show up, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
Because their health crisis disabled them in a way where they couldn't call.
Yeah.
And the show had to go on.
Yeah.
And they were a key and major role. And so I had to read their lines.
Yeah.
And someone had to get up in the middle of a show and say, you know, we've had an actor who's had an emergency.
Yeah.
And we have somebody filling in for them, and that person will be reading their lines. And I read the hell out of those lines. I read those lines with conviction and fervor. But nonetheless, I had a script in my hand. You know? And that does take the audience out of the world that you're trying to create for them on stage.
Right.
And you don't want that, especially not when you've rehearsed for, 2-3 months prior to a show.
Right.
For, theater is live.
Yeah.
You don't get to retake. It's not like television.
Right.
Or film.
Yeah.
It's live.
Yeah.
You get one opportunity. You mess up, you messed up.
Yeah.
You don't show up, you don't show up. So not showing up, giving your stage manager, your director a headache on the day of, big pet peeve, so don't do that. And that's a way to not be cast again for a show. No director wants that. I don't care how talented you are.
Yeah. Be on time. On time is late.
If you're not on time and I don't know where you are and you're not communicating with me, I'm not going to work with you again.
Yeah.
I'd rather work with a beginner who show up and who's early.
Right. On time. Okay. One thing you said in one of the rehearsals stuck with me, and it was about the audience. The audience knows when you rehearse. The audience knows when you're winging it. And that stuck with me because you, even though like you're a character in a play, musical, what have you, you do have to look on the other side of if you were in the audience and what would you see? What would you notice? What would you expect? What would you want? And as you're rehearsing, as you're practicing, like also embody like there's going to be people watching you. How do you want them to feel, or what would you want to feel if you were sitting on the other side? So I thought about that.
Absolutely. First of all, these are paid guests.
Yeah.
No one's there for free.
Right.
So they paid their $20, $30. There's free parking at our facility, but at most facilities, they also had to pay for parking.
Right.
If they're going to, a show in downtown Charlotte, then you got to wrestle with like there's so many things that they've done to get there.
Right.
They deserve a good show. They deserve a good show.
Right.
Right. So they're there, and we have folk know good art. The average person knows good art.
Yeah, they do.
They know good art. So they know when you're winging it. They know when you're faking it.
Yeah.
And the creatives know.
Yeah.
And I was sharing this with my best friend, LaTanya, who's acting as our stage manager for the show. And we were talking about a show that we just saw. By Three Bones Theater. The show's called What the End Will Be. And it's a wonderful ensemble cast. And probably by the time this airs, it will be over. But it was an impeccable show. It was a glorious show.
Right.
And when I say everybody in the cast was on it, fully embodied their roles.
You felt it.
I felt it. From the rooter to the tutor, as my grandmother would say. From the top of my head to the sole of my feet, I felt it. I felt every character. There was like a patriarchal grandfather character. There was a dad, and he had a tumultuous relationship with his son because he had cheated on It was. I don't want to give it away because you might see it. It's a good show.
Okay.
And there was all these parallels in the show that were very familiar to me, and I think would be familiar to a lot of us, like family dynamics that were very familiar. Everybody did great. That's the experience I want people to walk away with when they come to my shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want the creatives, because we know.
Yeah.
And I was with other creatives, and we all walked away like this was glorious.
Yeah.
And so when a show ends and an audience member congratulates me, it just depends on who that audience member is. I'm be honest. So when a creative comes and congratulates me,
You know.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're discriminating.
Yeah. Oh, they're judging. Yeah.
And I want that.
Yeah.
I want that. Because if they think it's good,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
so
be
that's
good.
the aim, and that's why I push.
Yeah.
And I push because once the artist gets there and they achieve that level,
Right.
they'll never want to be half-ass again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. So tell us, when is the show? What are the days? What are the times? Where can people go get tickets?
Well, I'm really excited for the very first time. A lot of the work that I've done has been centered in North and South Carolina, but primarily North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina specifically. But we're going to be in Davidson, North Carolina, which is a beautiful community adjacent to Charlotte, a beautiful lake community. Davidson College is there, and we're going to be at the Arbor Street Theater, which is a part of Davidson Community Playhouse. May 16th, May 17th, and May 18th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All of the shows are at 8 p.m. On Saturday, we're doing a pre-show reception with the cast. So join us an hour before the show. Tickets are only $20, and if you want to enjoy the pre-show reception, $30 on Saturday. We hope to see you there. You can go on davidsonCommunityPlayers.org, and all of the ticket information is there. Or look me up online, Jermaine, Jermaine, Nakia, Nakia, Lee, Lee, Jermaine Nakia Lee. I'm on everything.
Yes, I'm excited. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful experience. I can feel it. It's all going to come together as it should. And I'm excited for you to be able to see how it's going to work out. So good.
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Again, this is a musical, and we're doing a live concert version of the musical, which is not something that I've done before. So this is new, and you get to have this new experience with us.
Yes. First time for everything.
So first time, baby. Where my first timers at?
Hey, in the house right here.
Got it.
Whether you want to buy a home or sell one, you need the right person to help make that dream come true. Someone who knows the market, has the right relationships to support you, and keeps his finger on the pulse of the community. So what are you waiting for? Do what I did and contact Vaughn Hayes today, because you are the key to making it all happen, and that house is waiting for you to call it home.
What is next? Like, what do you, like, I know we're working on this, but do you have your eyes, do you have your hands, your mind set on like something beyond A Walk in My Shoes, or maybe another chapter of A Walk in My Shoes, just something that you're eyeing next?
I do. I am writing an autobiographical piece about the life of my mother,
Okay. I love
who we
that.
affectionately call Miss Holly.
Okay.
Her name is Holithia. And my mother's story, it reads like a really bad Lifetime movie, but it's real. And I mean everything from kidnapping to murder drug abuse. I mean, it
Yeah, all the things.
It's all the things.
Yeah.
But her story must be told
Okay.
because people aren't going to believe that she's still standing. Her story must be told. And I want her to be able to see her story. Because I just think, like she doesn't realize how amazing she is.
Yeah.
And that we're all standing on her shoulders.
Right.
She's just a little itty bitty. She'll be at the show.
Okay.
She'll be the loud one cheering my name. But she's my biggest fan.
Okay.
And she is a wonderful woman. So look out for probably in the next year or so.
Okay.
Maybe less than that. We'll say in the next 8 months, we'll workshop the show.
Yeah.
Miss Holly, the musical.
I love that. I can't wait to meet Miss Holly. Miss Holly.
She's a character.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Okay. Is there anything that you want to leave us with or something that you want to touch on that we haven't, or just give the audience a little bit of a walk in my shoes or something, Jermaine, that maybe they've been missing?
Well, so many things. I'm really blessed. I have 2 amazing boys. I have a 17-year-old Josiah and a 10-year-old Jediah. My 17-year-old is graduating.
Yes. Okay, graduate.
Yeah, this month, as a matter of fact. And he has a full ride to A&T, North Carolina
That's what I'm
A&T.
talking about.
And
Aggies.
he's an Aggie. And he is studying pediatric nursing.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that. But on the low, he's a musician too.
Oh, what instrument?
No instrument just yet. I think it's going to go into production.
Oh.
And this is me speaking this.
Speaking life into
This
it.
is me speaking this.
Okay.
Because he has like perfect pitch. And I think because his dad went this way, he went this way. But I know music's going to find him because it's like in him. And I told him you could do all things. You can have a medical career. You can have a music career.
Yeah.
I'm multi-hyphenate, so like just do all the things. But I just want to shout my babies out.
Yeah.
I'm happy about them.
Listen, they're gonna be this probably an Aggie gonna be watching. They're gonna start hollering. I graduated from Coastal Carolina, but when I have friends that are Aggies, they just start. Yeah, you know them when you see them.
They rowdy.
They gonna let you know. They're gonna let you know. I love
yeah.
that. But I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and y'all stay off my son. Got on them girls over there, Aggie.
Oh Lord.
Stay off my son, bro.
Lord, I am weak.
Stay off my son, bro.
You gotta learn. You got to learn.
I'm watching you.
Okay. Rapid fire questions really quick. What is the best movie you watched in the last 5 years?
The best movie I watched in the last 5 years is Sinners, no doubt.
It was good.
It was in the last 5 years, no doubt. Sinners.
Okay. Who's your favorite actress?
My favorite actress right now is it's still Viola Davis, I think.
Ooh.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If an actor is headed to rehearsal or performance, what's 2 things they should have with them no matter what?
They should have water and they should have their script in the binder.
Okay. If you had to play in a movie yourself, what type of movie would it be? Comedy, thriller, action,
It'd be a
scary?
musical comedy.
Musical comedy?
Yeah, because I like to cut up. That's the other thing people don't know about me. I like to cut up, and there's an offbeat comedy in me that's waiting to be written.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. If you could rewrite any movie, play, drama, anything that is already out, what would it be?
That is a profound question. If I could rewrite any movie that's already out, what would it be? I would rewrite. What would I rewrite?
Add your twist to it. Or
If I could add a twist to a movie. I would rewrite. There's so many movies that I would rewrite. I don't even know which one to choose from. Seriously, Oh my God, I'm flooded with movies right now. There's a movie by Spike Lee called Mo Better Blues.
Okay.
And I would rewrite Mo Better Blues.
Okay.
And I would make Denzel gay.
Interesting.
I always watched that movie and thought that character should have had a male partner.
Okay.
That would have made more sense to me for that particular storyline.
Okay.
Not that all jazz musicians are gay, because he's a jazz musician in the movie. Not that all jazz musicians are gay. I'm real clear about that. But for this particular storyline, I encourage you to watch it. It's an amazing movie. Still relevant today. Yeah. I make the love. I would switch up the love interest.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, your energy.
Thank you.
The spoken words that you gave me at the beginning, the capacity, having the audacity to show up and to move with excellence.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing in 2025.
Hey.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Yes,
like,
thank
it's
you.
already ours.
It's ours.
It's
Come on,
ours.
Ruby. That's it.
It's ours.
That's how we moving.
Yeah.
With audacity.
Every time.
And what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? We're expecting good things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's already going to
Expectation.
happen. Yeah.
It's
I believe
happening
it.
already.
It is.
Thank you for this platform. I appreciate you.
No problem. I'm blessed to have you alongside me right now, and I cannot wait for the performance. And again, thank you for the opportunity, because this is going down in history. The first situation, musical, playwright, concert that I'm a part of. And so I can't wait to see the growth from here, and knowing that, hey, the sponge started with you. Hey.
Just a reflection of you. All good. That's all.
Here we go. All right. That is it.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was good.
Thank you.
I love the energy.
Then who? If not you,